2026 is big shifting energy. So let's be prepared. Let's get on top of that. I'm going to read the collective energy today, let you know what I'm feeling that's going on in the collective, let you know what that could be predictively on the world stage for events over this current week. Also, how if we could be feeling this energy, collective energy, on a personal level. I'll do this in 3 stages. First stage being the collective energy, second stage being predictive world events, third stage being how this affects us personally. Let's get into this reading. To this collective reading for the week of the 14th of January. Astrologically, the biggest energy we're going to be feeling here will be Jupiter opposing Mercury. Mercury is in Capricorn, bringing energy to grounded communication, physical and practical. I'm going to bring this in the energy now of what's going on with the planets, weave it into what's going on with the cards here on the table. Now we've got vital wellness. This is healthcare. This talks about bringing back to the physical body, so it could be talking about the energy that's taking place in Capricorn. Capricorn being where the sun is at the moment, but also having that extra energy there, wanting to really focus on your vitality and wellness because of where the sun is sitting so closely conjunct to Mars at this time. So maybe an extra boost of energy perhaps at this time, or wanting you just to be aware and focus on your body at this time and your vitality and your health at this time. So we have the week energy coming in. It feels very kind of muted, downplayed, a little bit internal, back to your own physical body or your physical needs. So it becomes a time of really stepping into your own, what's right for you for 2026 energy of individual rather than collective energy for this week ahead. Now, I'm also feeling a dry spell energy here. We're seeing the dry spell. Doesn't mean it can be preparation. I did see a few shortages in the last reading that I did for 2026, but dry spell could just mean we're in a bit of a pause energy. Really about vital wellness. It's about our own, coming back to our own wellness. So maybe we are trying not to get involved in what's going on collectively around the world. Some of these alerts could be downgraded to do with what's going on in the world, but as I'm reading this as a collective energy, not a world of energy, this downgrade alert is saying don't panic. So on the collective, don't add extra panic to the collective energy. So it's about a dry spell. Maybe it's just a period of pause or scarcity within the collective energy. For some people, they could be feeling a little bit more connected to money and scarcity of money. So there could be something that's raised here for some people as well, collectively. We have Tuesday, the 13th, Scorpio moon. We have a Scorpio moon. Now, I always struggle with the Scorpio moons personally. I find them the most challenging for me personally. Doesn't mean it's like that for everybody, but it's about going really deep. Scorpio is about deep emotionally. It's a water sign, so going very deep to face the shadows, and I always do really feel that energy when the moon goes into Scorpio. Jupiter's going to be in Cancer though, trining this energy, so it's bringing in that extra need to protect your emotions at this time, because they could be overwhelming because of that Jupiter expanding the energy of emotions, as Scorpio wants to go deep and dig deep into emotional energy, emotional scars, emotional traumas, shadows, or just could be kind of a little bit quite deep emotional energy around this time collectively. Repairing, I'm hearing healing energy is needed at this time. Now, as we feel this energy, where the moon's trining Cancer, the energy feels quite soft, emotional, soft, like it's emotional energy, but it's quite soft energy. It's because it's water energy, it's Cancer energy, it's kind of that yin energy. But I do feel it's a need to protect your boundaries, to protect your emotions here at this time. And it becomes more of an internal thing, as I said, like a solo effort rather than a collective, what's going on in the world. We have abundance sitting on the table. So for some people, it's about looking at the wellness and health of their scarcity thought patterning around abundance and wealth. So that could be playing out here for some people. So power flows where attention goes. I finally got that out. So, and this energy that I'm feeling here is paying attention to where you've been thinking about negative things or about that scarcity mentality, and maybe you're doing some work on healing that scarcity mentality around abundance, because it's really about engaging in this really powerful energy over this current week with this sun in Capricorn, wanting you to do it as like a solo mission, really focus on yourself in a solo way. Each person solely is responsible for what they put into the collective energy here, based on what we focus on. And that's where the energy goes, where we focus. So we're really responsible for what we're focusing on this week, deliberately, targetedly. So, in a way that is deliberate, changing your mindset, changing the way you're thinking, so you're not adding extra negativity to the collective energy. So we will have Chiron in Aries squaring Jupiter in Cancer at this time. So this feels like wounds. It's healing again. It's also healing the energy, because Chiron represents healing. So healing emotional energy, healing our, I know I said thinking, our thought patterns based on what the cards are saying, but it's also emotional energy as well, and wounds. Could be because of things that's happened in the past. We are programmed or think that way because of that, and we're maybe even programmed to think about scarcity. So it's about paying attention to that on a soul level. Taking a look at what the planets are doing over this week and how this relates to the cards that are on the table. So Jupiter opposing Mercury, that's the biggest one that I felt you saw that I circled it on the chart. It's all about your expanding your thoughts again, because Mercury is very much about mindset. So where I was picking up in the cards around changing your patterns, your thoughts around scarcity and abundance, this is really playing out in a big way over this current week, because of that Mercury energy opposing Jupiter. Jupiter's expanding, but it's also opposing, so it's push and pull energy, really trying to expand and highlight the way you think and how that affects the outcome and the collective as well. We've got Mars energy. So Mars is also opposing. It's 22 degrees over there in Capricorn, while Jupiter is in Cancer. So they're quite close orb there, 3-degree orb between them. So this is going to be about pressure, because it's Mars energy, conflict, heated tension, escalating and expanding, because Jupiter means expansion and growth. So this energy could be taking place over this week. So there is external pressures, collectively, conflicts, all this stuff taking place, impulsive energy, a push, a burst of energy coming in from that Mars squaring Jupiter, so bigger heightened tension. But then you've got to think about how you think about that, because of that Mercury also squaring, and what you're putting into the collective there. So targeting your thoughts there with the Mercury and the cards on the table. Now, because it's paired with the downgrade alert, it's saying emotional charge is bigger than the actual impact. So sometimes we can play it out to be worse in our heads than what it's actually going to be. So really paying attention to where our thoughts run away, and start thinking about the worst case scenario. So really needing to target back in and pull that energy back deliberately and reprogram how you're thinking here with this energy. Power flow sitting next to abundance on the same line there. More opportunities for abundance to flow once you really target the way your mindset's thinking. Now, I know this feels more personal, this reading, more so than the collective energy. And why this is happening is because of that energy taking place in Capricorn. Capricorn's quite a soul sign, as in it's responsibilities on one person's shoulders. You're solely responsible for your own actions, being Capricorn energy. So that's why I'm feeling this energy comes back to individual basis and how people, what they're doing with their thoughts that affect the collective, but also affect their own flow of abundance as well. So that's why it's coming back to an individual kind of reading, and it feels more like a personal reading than a Capricorn new moon on Sunday. So the end of the week will be Capricorn new moon. This is going to be bringing new beginnings. It's a time for setting our intentions for the month ahead, especially around grounded things or ambition things to do with Capricorn. It's also very ambitious sign as well. So structure renewal, structures, foundations, long-term health as well. We've got a lot of healing and wellness on the table. So really focusing in on our long-term health. It's ruled by Saturn, which is Kronos, so it's about time and long term here with this energy that's taking place. So Sunday is a great time to really think about your health over 2026 and set your intentions for really focusing in on grounding, nature, and wellness and food here, what you're eating. So it could also be talking about your structures moving forward for 26. It's a good time on Sunday to set your intentions around those things. Long-term health, discipline, because it's Capricorn, being where the new moon is, and the setting your goals into motion for 2026 at this time. So let's get on to predictively what's coming up for the predictive energy for the world stage. Predictive events coming up for this week, beginning the 14th of January. There's going to be air turbulence, cyclones, weather events. So maybe strange weather events or just weather events to do with air pressure or cyclones. Here, so that's coming up this week. It's going to be very much focused on that. Also, perhaps even something going on around strange behavior around animals possibly this week. So paying attention to animals and how they're reacting to anomalies, weather anomalies or air events. Or there could be like migrating patterns and things like that, which are unusual, to do with the animal card on the table. Now, there could be celestial triggers here, cosmic influence that could talk about the sun, can talk about solar activity, radiation, CMEs, forward-facing, geomagnetic storms. I'm not quite sure. I didn't check on the sun, what's happening with the sun this week, but we've got the card on the table saying there could be some kind of cosmic influence or a trigger, catalyst events that causes unfolding drama here with this unfolding drama. Now, in the headlines this week, predictively, we could be seeing scandals unfolding, drama back on our media screens, but I also see improved situation as well. While I am seeing predictively, we're seeing weather events, strange animal behavior or cyclones. I am seeing down the bottom that there will be dramas back on, maybe as a distraction, dramas playing back out in the media, something coming to our attention. Maybe there's a trigger that sets something off and sets something in motion where it causes us to refocus our attention on scandals. Whether or not that's related to Venezuela or what's coming up around different countries, but there's a trigger event that happens that force us to look at the scandal side of an event that happens. But an optimistic approach for this week, it's an improved situation, improved energy, and that's because we're focusing on our individual energy and focusing on healing, repairing our vitality, our wellness, and then that results in what we're putting back into the collective energy is better programming, better ways of thinking because of that Mercury squaring Jupiter, but this improves the overall energy of the collective. So it could be bringing some improved situations to some scandals, dramas, or some kind of events that have been happening recently. We might see some situations improving this week. On a personal level, this is and it's all connected. What takes place in the collective affects world events, weather events, also affects our energy on the personal level. So it can be about to do with how we're feeling. Now I see this diplomatic fallout. You can see the energy here. The people's expressions brings the emotion to the meaning or what's going on with the energy of this reading. So this one here, I'm focusing on this first card being a little bit of tension energy felt on a personal. So maybe it could be fallouts with things not going to plan. It could be just a build-up of energy that finally gets released. It could be energy around just confusion, not so much brain fog, but fallout from the up and down energy of the last couple of weeks. So maybe it hits a state of breaking point or just feeling like. Now, sometimes when you go through a catalyst event or a traumatic experience, or your nerve endings are being up and down with your emotions, issues around your mental health struggles here. This is a mental health struggle card. I'm definitely feeling that. But when you come out of that and you can just breathe for a minute, sometimes that results in the nervous systems and how it reacts to that pause to really focus on what you've just been through. So that's what I'm feeling. It's like a pausing energy of just focusing on how difficult the energy has been over the last few weeks. Now, we did see improved situation on the last reading, but I'm feeling this is like a pause to really just come to terms and deal with what you've been going through over the last couple of weeks. It's like this, I keep hearing crescendo. So I'm feeling like cycles, up and down cycles. It could be mental health. It could be emotional energy. And it just, where you can just pause for a moment and realize, oh, that was challenging. That how is my nervous system reacting to the situation that I've been through? Shaky ground over here could show, talk about foundations built on shaky ground may be impacted or affected here because of the harvest affected. So here it could be saying that for some of you, not everybody, there could be goals that you've been working towards, things that you've been wanting to do. The outcome could be affected or impacted because of your moods, your balance, your up and the energy of how you've been feeling lately. Could be tiredness. It could be shaky kind of energy. That could be physical, that could be dizziness as well. But I'm feeling this energy here it affects your outcome. It affects your goals when you're going through this really shaky ground energy. It's really getting a firm foundation for your goals or whatever you're going through, or grounding is needed. This is a grounding card. It's the Earth card. So it's saying ground in nature is definitely needed this week for you. Now, this turmoil, this up and down energy that I'm feeling over here, maybe that's better balanced or impacted. The outcome will be better if you can ground your energy, because there feels to be a lot of emotional or water energy going on here. If you ground that energy or nurture it from natural remedies, earth remedies, or just putting your bare feet on the ground, I'm feeling it's going to balance you out a little bit. This energy is giving me really bipolar vibes. It's giving me up and down energy. But if you can focus it back into grounding and earth energy, I feel that's going to balance your moods out a little bit, maybe not make you feel so tired or anxious. This really mental health, I'm feeling mental health over here. And it may not even be a diagnosed mental illness. It could just be your mind hasn't been right in the last few weeks. And it's really about trying to find solutions or an outcome to repair that energy, and that's grounding that is needed. Could be for some of you talking about goals will be affected based on your moods, so you really need to get set up really strong foundations as well. multi-source perspective, many viewpoints, leadership. So leadership is about leading by example, practice what you preach, energy of stand and be an inspiration for other people. It's leadership role. It's Leo energy. We've got this energy of leadership and the heavy weight of burdens of being responsible for so many things. Now, it doesn't mean that you're a leader, doesn't mean you're a boss. It could just be the heavy weight of burdens of getting things done. So what do I mean by that? I mean, you have a lot of burdens, you have a lot of responsibilities, and this energy is because it's Capricorn Sun, so that can be burdens and responsibilities as well. It's ruled by Saturn, but I feel like it's a heavy weight to bear. And then that's sitting over on top of this one, so it's like you can see holding the head here. Can also say it could be the head feels very heavy or it feels very tired, but it feels like it's a heavy weight on your shoulders, and that could be burdens or responsibilities, or it could just be this brain fog or fatigue or this emotional up and down that's really just making you feel like, okay, I need to deal with this. But taking a leadership role here would be standing up and leading by example or practicing what you preach. Multi-source perspective, many viewpoints. Now, this is collective energy. It's fed by individual viewpoints. While I feel this week's about sole responsibility because it's very Capricorn energy, I feel though it is affected by collective energy, multi-source events, everybody feeling certain things, and it could be, and this ceasefire again is giving me another pause energy where I was feeling that pause energy, that nerve energy and endings feeling because you've finally paused and been able to assess what you've been through. It's like a ceasefire, so it's a bit of a pause to really focus on grounding, to focus on healing, to focus on an very individual basis. But if everybody can do that repair, that recovery, that healing on an individual level, then it also repairs and heals the collective energy. So hope that makes sense to you. Hope you enjoyed that reading, and I will see you again next week.